Graham, how satisfying was the win on Sunday night?
Yeah, it was a good win. Showdowns, always big games, always good to play in. As usual, a lot of intensity and a lot of ferocity during the game, and it was just another hard-fought showdown. It was a good win.
How does it do for preparing you for the big fight you've got in the next month?
Yeah, we took a lot out of that game. As we know, they're big games for us and Port. Port, they kept coming, and the character that the boys showed, just to keep at it, and eventually run over the top. So we'll take a lot of confidence out of that game.
As a club, have you looked at the next bracket of 5 games before the bye, or is it very much the proverbial 1 week at a time?
Yeah, the old cliche, 1 week at a time. Obviously, Sydney this week. Haven't lost a game yet, in some fantastic form. So we're going to have our work cut out there, rather than worrying about the few weeks ahead. We'll just worry about this one.
You've got a great record against them. What's made Adelaide trouble Sydney for now 7 years?
Yeah, it's a good question. I reckon we match up well against them. It might sound a bit weird, but we tend to play pretty good at their CG on that smaller ground. So we're pretty confident in our ability at the moment, the way we're playing, and we're really looking forward to the challenge.
Why is it? I mean, you've got one of the better visiting records to the SCG. What's behind that?
It's a good question. Just the way that the boys, in the past, go about their business, professionally, when we're travelling and stuff like that. Just the preparation that the boys put in, and like I said, we match up pretty well against Sydney, and we play pretty well up there.
Is it a sense of given that you've had some really good wins there, blokes like yourself that have been there and done that when you get back there, it's a good feeling, it's fond memories? Yeah,
definitely. There's definitely grounds, like that around the country that you have different feelings for. Say Community Park for one, it's a little bit daunting going down there, whereas going to the SCG, it's not that bad. So because we've got a good record there, so we're looking forward to the challenge.
Last time you had a big test of the season against Hawthorn, they got away from you. Do you worry, or do you keep that in mind when you play Sydney, the next big test?
Yeah, definitely. Hawthorn was pretty much a bit of a wake-up call for us, because we had a pretty good pre-season, and our start to the season was pretty good. It was a good learning curve for a few of the guys, and it was good to bounce back the following week, and we're really looking forward to this week.
Graham, there's a lot changing around you. That defence has had to change. Bob going, Davis going, it's pretty well put you to the test there. How's that working? Do you reckon you're getting the fit there?
Yeah, getting there slowly. Ben Rutten's doing a lot of work with Daniel Talia, and Shorey as well, trying to fast track those younger guys to play those key roles down there, and it's coming along. They're learning every week, because they're standing on pretty good forwards, big tall forwards. So if I can keep working with them guys and help progressing them, it's going to help our defence a lot.
What's it mean on the rest of the guys like you and Dowdy, Riley, more experience? So what have you done to help get the system working back there?
Yeah, we're just sort of plugging along, and we're still sort of showing our leadership out on the ground, and in meetings and stuff like that, and we've got younger guys like Brodie Martin and Matthew Yench that are coming through that we're trying to progress as well. So there's a lot of challenge, not only for the younger guys coming through, but also for the older guys to try and keep our spots in the team. So there's a lot of pressure on there as well. So everybody's trying to do their bit, which is only good for the team.
The argument that best defences win premierships. While you're developing that, how do you make sure that it holds up?
First of all, it's got to hold up. We just got to make sure that we as much as we're trying to develop these younger guys, that the older guys don't get too far ahead of themselves also. But as for the older guys, making sure we're staying out there, and injury wise, we're not getting too injured or anything like that. So yeah.
Are you finding you're being a bit more of a coach back there with some younger inexperienced guys alongside you, having to take a bit more note of what others are doing instead of just showing up?
Yeah. Sando's put a bit more emphasis on us older guys leading the way, not only in defence but across the board. So we're sharing the load there. A lot of guys now, a few of the older guys have played a bit of footy and know a bit about the game. So if we can continue to help each other out, it's only good for the club.
How do you compare
Game style is a lot more different. Obviously, Sando's brought that Geelong sort of game style where it's a bit more contested footy side of things and that sort of thing. Whereas Craigie was more, I guess, structured and rigged with the way that we played. Obviously, Sando's, I guess, a little bit more laid back around the club, and there's not as much. He's a bit more, I guess, brought a lot of. I guess Craigie was sort of the same as well, where when things are going well, he was up and about, but definitely when things weren't going that well, it was a lot of pressure around the club, and we could feel it, see it on Craigie, and then the boys, it'll come across it to the boys as well. So Sando's more, I guess, come across, taking a lot of that pressure off, and just sort of eased a little bit with the way that he goes about it. He just feels like he's just like one of the boys a little bit, if I could say that, and it's just it's good to have him around.
It would help your personality, wouldn't it, a lot, and being around the club?
Yeah. There's a few of us that have got that sort of personality. There's probably a few others with Matthew Yench and Taylor Walker that love to have a bit of a joke around the place and stuff like that. But obviously knowing when to be serious and stuff like that. So it's good. You need those sort of people around the club to keep it upbeat and around the mark.
What's the difference for the defence this week? Last week you did Port Adelaide with some pretty tall units that they were going to pump the ball into. Sydney's more noted for goals out of midfield and midfielders. How does defence restructure? What do you need to do different this week to keep on top of that?
We'll probably go in with our usuals defenders that probably played last week. Like you said, they score a lot of their goals from the midfielders coming through, so there's going to be a lot of emphasis on, I guess, the midfielders playing their roles within the team and the structures, and if the midfield can put the pressure on their midfielders, bringing the ball forward and make our job a lot more easier. So I think that's going to be an important battle this week, is in the midfield, and so hopefully our boys can get on top.
Are you guys better prepared for these tests before the bye, given the wake-up call? You said we wake up against Hawthorn.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of emphasis has been on, if we're going to be a contender, we need to, play really well against the top four sides, and we've already had one challenge, and which we failed at against Hawthorn. So, Sydney playing really good footy and a good chance of finishing the top four at the moment. So, it's going to be another big test for us this week.
Given Port's competitiveness against some of the top four sides over the last month, haven't won, but got pretty close. Obviously getting over the top of them, and then Sydney now undefeated on top. Is this a bigger test than Hawthorn?
Well, like I said before, we're going up there pretty confident. We've done a good job against Sydney in the past, so that side of things we're feeling pretty confident about it.
You love a goal. You've got a couple on the weekend. Just take us through those.
Yeah.
That long one. Did you always think you could make the distance? I think a lot of people sort of thought you might.
I think just the connection to the footy was pretty good, and I was just hopeful, grateful that I went through.
Have you got a thought on why there's been those lapses, particularly in third quarters?
Yeah, no, it has been mentioned. It's something that we're trying to figure out at the moment as players and the coaching group. We've spoken about it again today, and we're still trying to figure it out. So hopefully we can get on top of that as soon as possible.
As a Port Lincoln lad, what do you think of these stories about young guys over there getting paid in drugs?
Yeah, I've been watching that at the moment lately. Actually, last couple of days. I don't know the full story at the moment, so I guess I'm not enticed to comment at this stage.
You haven't spoken to anyone back home?
I sort of rang Dad up and asked him what was going on, and he sort of said the same thing. It's got nothing to do with us. We don't know what's going on at the moment either. So.